Hey students, welcome to another Mr. Ness screencast. Today's aim is Europeans, Africans, and Native Americans in colonial North America. You have no vocab to fill out in this video, but take a look at these learning objectives and get ready to take some notes. In the last video, you learned about European imperialism in the New World. That's this part of the world that includes North America and South America. And today, we're going to focus just on North America, and we're going to look at three different cultures that came together there as a result of imperialism. The first cultural group were the European colonists. In North America in the 16 and 1700s, most of the colonists who came were from the European countries of England, also called Great Britain, and France. And if you look at this map, you can see that the colonists from England took all the lands up and down the east coast of North America. That's all this land shaded in red. And you can see that the French, meanwhile, took over the lands in the middle part of North America, and that's all this land in blue. The British and the French didn't have the exact same culture, but they did have a lot in common. They both followed Christianity. They both believed in things like private property, ruled by a divinely chosen king, and the superiority of white-skinned Europeans. So we can say that colonists from these countries brought a shared European culture to North America. The second major cultural influence was brought by enslaved people from Africa, specifically from West Africa. That's this area on the map. And some of the modern-day countries in this region include Senegal, Ghana, and Nigeria. This region was really diverse, but people there did share some things in common, like animist beliefs. They had similar agricultural practices, and they tended to live in clan-based societies ruled by kings. And over time, in North America, the enslaved people that were taken from West Africa brought their culture, and it developed into a uniquely African-American culture. So the second cultural influence in colonial North America was from West Africa. The final cultural influence was the people that were already in North America when the colonists arrived, the Native Americans. You already learned in the last video about the devastating effects that Old World diseases had on Native Americans once the Europeans arrived. This map shows the hundreds of different tribes that inhabited North America before the colonists arrived. I'd like you to know just a few specific tribes that you're going to hear more about later on in class. The first one is called the Wampanoag, and they lived in what is now the state of Massachusetts. You might have heard of the Wampanoag if you've already heard the story of the Pilgrims and their first Thanksgiving with someone named Squanto. Squanto was a Wampanoag. The second tribe I'd like you to know is called the Lenape, also called the Delaware. The Lenape lived in the mid-Atlantic region, that's here, including the lands that are now New York City. Many Lenape words survive in the names of places around New York, like Manhattan, Canarsie, and Rockaway. These are all Lenape words. And the last tribe that I'd like you to know the name of is the Cherokee. They lived in the southeastern part of what is now the United States, including present-day states of Georgia and North Carolina. North America was culturally diverse, but there were some similarities among Native American tribes, including beliefs in animism and the collective use of land. So, to recap, the third major cultural group in colonial North America were Native Americans. All right, let's end by looking at some other effects that imperialism had on Native Americans in North America. Besides the destruction caused by diseases, Native Americans also faced dispossession of their lands. Almost immediately after the Europeans arrived, they began fighting wars with Native Americans over resources. And because of their diseases and their guns, Europeans were able to win most of these wars. They forced Native Americans off their lands, pushing them first to move west and later moving them onto what are called reservations. Native Americans struggled to retain their culture, and many adopted aspects of European culture, including Christianity. All right, it's time to review